You've heard it everywhere, right? In your favorite rock songs, pop hits, literally all over the place. But have you ever actually stopped and wondered what makes an electric guitar, well, electric? Let's get into the seriously cool tech behind that amazing sound.
I mean, think about it. An acoustic guitar is perfect for chilling in your room. But an electric guitar? That thing can fill a whole stadium. How does it get so incredibly loud? It's not some kind of magic, I promise. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how it all really works.
And you know what the best part is? This isn't some crazy complicated mystery. Nope. By the time we're done here, you are going to totally get the science behind it. So let's follow the sound right from the very beginning.
So, first up, from strings to signal. Before a single note even thinks about getting loud, the guitar itself has to create an electronic signal. You can think of this part as the engine room, where all the power is quietly generated before it gets unleashed.
The real secret sauce is this little gadget right here, the pickup. Now, it's not a microphone that, hears sound through the air. It's way smarter than that. See, its magnets create this invisible field all around the strings. When you strum those metal strings, they wiggle and mess with that magnetic field, and bam! That creates a tiny electrical signal.
And check this out. Not all pickups are the same. It's kind of like choosing your weapon loadout in a game. A single coil pickup? That's your sniper rifle. It gives you a really precise, bright, and sharp sound. Perfect for those clean, twangy notes. But a humbucker? That's your shotgun. It's got this huge, warm, and thick sound that's just awesome for blasting out massive rock chords.
And before that little signal even leaves the guitar, you're already in the driver's seat. You've got volume knobs to decide how strong the signal is, tone knobs to make it sound brighter or darker, and switches to flip between those different pickups. It's literally your first chance to start sculpting your own unique sound.
Okay, so we've got our tiny electrical signal. Awesome. But right now, that signal is just a whisper. To get that massive roar we're all here for, it's going to need a serious power-up. So here it is, the signal's whole journey. Step 1, you hit the strings. Step 2, the pickup turns that vibration into a little electrical signal. Step 3, that signal zips down the cable. Step 4, it hits the amplifier, which is basically a giant booster. And finally, step 5, the speaker takes that powered-up signal and turns it into the huge sound that you actually hear. From a quiet little string to a stadium-shaking roar. Just like that.
All right, now for the really fun part. A guitar isn't just one thing, right? All of its physical parts work together. A great way to think about it is like you're building a character in a video game. Every choice you make totally affects your stats and your special abilities.
First up, let's talk armor, the guitar's body. A solid body guitar is like wearing heavy armor. It's dense, which gives you high defense against that annoying high-pitched squealing sound called feedback, especially when you're playing loud. This gives you a really clear, direct tone. A hollow body, on the other hand, is more like light armor. That open space inside lets the sound bounce around and resonate, creating this special, warmer, almost acoustic-like vibe. And yeah, even the strings are a huge choice. They're all made of metal, like steel or nickel. But their thickness, what musicians call gauge, is a really big deal. Thicker strings give you a bigger, fuller sound, but man, they can be tougher to press down. Thinner strings are way easier to bend, which is perfect for those epic, screaming guitar solos. And of course, you've got the neck and the fretboard. You can basically think of this as your main controller. Every single time a player presses a string against one of those metal bars, those are the frets, they're choosing a specific note to play. This is where all the melodies and the chords are actually born.
So, you've built your character, you're making a sound, but what if you want to get really creative? Well, this is where you unleash your special powers. And honestly, the best way to think about this stuff is like using Instagram filters, but for your guitar sound.
These are effects pedals, and I guarantee you've heard them. Distortion gives you that awesome, gritty, fuzzy sound of a classic rock anthem. Reverb? That makes it sound like you're playing in a giant cave. Or, how you sound amazing when you're singing in the shower? That's reverb. Delay is just what it sounds like, an echo. And chorus adds this shimmering effect that makes it sound like a whole choir of guitars are playing at once. But hey, it's not all about the gear. The player's own techniques are like special moves in a fighting game. Bending a string to make it wail, shaking it for vibrato to add a ton of emotion, or using lightning-fast hammer-ons for crazy note combos, these are all ways a guitarist injects their own personality straight into the music.
So, with all this amazing tech and all these different techniques, the electric guitar didn't just stay in some workshop
Oh no, it went out and completely conquered the world of music.
And as you can see, this thing is just so versatile. It's the roaring engine of rock and metal for sure. But it's also the super smooth, warm voice you hear in jazz. It brings all that soul to the blues and those super catchy riffs to pop music. The electric guitar really is the king of so many different musical kingdoms.
And its rise to fame was actually pretty quick. It all started back in the 1930s, just so guitarists could be heard over loud jazz bands. But then, in the 1950s, the solid-body guitar showed up, which solved that feedback problem and basically helped create the explosive sound of rock and roll. From there, it just took over, becoming the essential voice of popular music all over the world.
So if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. The electric guitar isn't just an instrument. It's a piece of totally customizable tech that gives a musician the power to build a sound that is completely 100% their own.
And that leaves us with one last question for you. Now that you know about the pickups and the body shapes and all those cool effects, if you could build your own signature sound from scratch, what kind of sound would you create? Thanks for tuning in.